Hello. I don't think that Infold knows why Infinity Nikki was popular in the first place. And I think that what they're doing inside Itzaland really show that. There has been quite a few complaints this patch cycle about the snail beauty salon. And also about the stylist skills that you also need to build. It's because these ideas hit so close to something that can actually work, but then completely miss the mark. So, Snail Beauty Salon has absolutely nothing to do with actual dress up elements of the game. It's one of those businesses, again, like your drink shop or your bath house or the hot pot, where for some reason Nikki has to run a business that has nothing to do with fashion or platforming or open world gameplay in general. It's just like a not very good business simulator. Before that, she was also supposed to raise behemoths too, which is, yeah, like, I don't know what's exactly happening in Itzaland. The thing that really ticks people off with Snail Beauty Salon is the beauty salon part of the Snail Beauty Salon. Do you know how many people would absolutely love to dress up NPCs? Like, customize them and make them look a little bit more plain? More plain? Less plain, I mean. I suppose you could make a very dreadful reality where you can make them look even more plain. Especially considering the amount of NPCs in Wishfield that honestly look like they're dressing in the most sad possible fashion while you're flaunting around your full dress. Beauty salon. Imagine if we could customize how NPCs looked. Change their hair, put on them on some makeup. I know that you don't want like rendering of these NPCs to take too much resources, but like I'm pretty sure that you could like limit the choice of what items we can put on NPCs to make sure that we don't just make like 10,000 sparkly people that grind the game to a halt. Like you can give us just like options of like pick from options. What do these people are supposed to be wearing? Like pick from options for hats, pick from options for tops, for bottoms, so on and so forth. Beauty salon fashion gameplay. And this is more than one post as well. Why not add a salon business instead of all of these? Infold, who asked for this? And this is a stylist guild training thing where you take what you get in the snail salon, you invest it into the training place so that people get better XP rates for going on like these training missions. Effectively you just assign people off and like send them off and check the next day over, and you do all of this in order to have people to help you through the new styling challenges, and it is set up that you kind of need to engage with all of that side content in order to do these styling challenges like at the end. And that sucks dick because it just makes it look like Infold doesn't actually know what we want to do in this game or why we want to play it. Because yes, people want more styling challenges. People want meaningful styling duels with other stylists. People even want PvP in styling. People want styling competitions. People want dress up in the dress up game. And now the sovereign of sexy's factions return so that you can just like re-challenge them, but you have to engage with this like shitty construction gameplay in order to do like the end of like the styling challenges, which is not what people want. And honestly, I have a feeling that Itzaland is one big experiment where Infold tried to branch out to other audiences that were not their original audience. For one thing, our purification is now very much combat-based, instead of what it was, where you could just throw one ball. That might have been partly to sell more banners, because, you know, new ability, which means that old purification doesn't work very well, which means that you need to buy new banners, but I also think that they tried to make the game more action-packed. My keyboard disconnected, so let me just hit my other keyboard. I also think that they have de-emphasized the challenges of, well, the faction challenges also on purpose. Because with 1.0 for Wishfield, we had Sovereign of Cool, Sovereign of Elegant, Sovereign of Sexy, and Sovereign of Fresh. And we also were able to, like, re-challenge all of them later on, because that was just, like, a harder thing to do. But it was pretty cool. It was something that people enjoyed. Why do I have a couple one of these not done yet? What the hell? I did not realize that. I have 3 diamonds to claim. So, like, don't mind me. I'm gonna be claiming, like, a handful of 3 diamonds after I finish recording. Apparently I completely forgot, like, 2 little floaty guys. But for Itzaland, so far, we're still in 2.4. We only have Sovereign of Sexy. And you can re-challenge him and him alone. And at the moment when I'm recording, he's not even available yet. You ended Yara. This is a huge drop in the amount of styling that there is to do. But here's another thing. I'm gonna switch to a different set of clothing, because I've been just like standing in this for a very long time. Let's stand in this for a while, just so that all my videos, my Nikki isn't exactly identical. Another thing though, is that if I wanted to craft Wishful Orosa through the story is set up so that you gain inspiration from the story that you're going through. Nikki very clearly exclaims that she got an inspiration for another piece, and then in order to, like, make that piece, you have to actually battle the sovereigns and beat them in order to get, like, crafting material to make that dress. Compare that to Itzaland. You don't need to beat Sovereign of Sexy to make Providence Immemorial. At no point does Nikki exclaim that she got inspiration for Providence Immemorial. You don't even need to craft Providence Immemorial to finish Itzaland's story. It honestly feels like they de-emphasized fashion because they thought that maybe they could, I don't know, get more men playing this game, that maybe, like, they made it more action-packed, which would appeal to other gacha players, or, like, maybe if they removed a bit of fashion, then it might appeal to people that want to build bathhouses instead of making fashion outfits. I have no idea what the thinking behind it was, but I found myself praising a lot of 2.4s and using this phrase of, this reminds me of vanilla Infinity Nikki content. I praise the fact that we can re-challenge Sovereign of Sexy because there's finally some fashion gameplay in my fashion game. And that is a very insane thing to state. Just the fact that it was de-emphasized to such a point that I had to make a point that there's finally some fashion gameplay in my fashion game. And the second thing is, we should just teleport over here. There's some platforming in this patch. And platforming used to play quite a big role inside Infinity Nikki, before they tried to replace platforming with like serious combat, because even for like Providence and Memorial, you had like Mira Crown Merit Arena, which never got updated after you like made that outfit, but you had to like go into very boring instances and just like fight some S-Links. And that's just... Nikki was never about like direct combat. But then in this patch, you get things like these. And I have already found all the chests, I completed all the levels for myself, but it is such like a vanilla Nikki experience. Just being like, oh yeah, I need like to navigate this whole effectively big puzzle where I want to delete some clouds, but like not some other clouds. And then like, I want to be like on the lookout for chests. Let's pretend that I'm on the lookout for chests and that I haven't like collected absolutely everything. You want to like have some moving mechanisms. This is like such a 1.0 Nikki thing. This is such a 1.x update thing. And this is not a 2.x thing at all. Like, majority of 2.x, all of this like update cycle, we have very little platforming. We have very little of this kind of puzzle solving. It's just gone. Completely gone. And instead, we have a bit of combat. We have some running stores on the side, and I don't get it. I don't get it, because they had a model that worked. They had a model that worked. They had like a coherent story. It was about fashion, and you were collecting a miracle outfit, and you had to engage in fashion duels in order to, you know, make that miracle outfit at the end. Combat was fairly minimal and not the focus. Platforming did take quite a bit of it, and even in the open world, when you wanted to like get to things, you wanted to use quite a bit of platforming, because like some things were like high up and some things were like on poles that you had to like jump on. I remember looking for stars and dews and stuff like that. And you enter 2.0 and there's very little of that. And you realize how little of that it is when you sit down and you praise the patch, because you're like, this feels like a very vanilla Nikki experience. I love the fact that we have platforming again. I love the fact that we have some fashion again. And then you sit there and you're like, wait a minute. That's like the key components to this game. What was I doing for like the past 3 patches? Running a hot pot? Raising a behemoth? Fighting S-Lings inside Merit Arena in order to make a 5-star outfit? What was all of that? Why is it here? And why is the focus so uncertain? You had a recipe for a great game, and then it seems that you just kind of chucked it away in order to do what? Experiment with what kind of other audiences you can attract to your game? That's not the point of your game. You can't do absolutely everything. Let's exit, because I'm not like completing a whole level in here, but photography is the point of your game. Light platforming is the point of your game. Dress up is a large point of your game. Collecting miracle outfits is a huge story plot point of your game. Battling other stylists and styling duels is a whole huge point of your game. You would think that you would lean into what makes your game good. You would think that you would lean into why people are playing your game and why people like your game. The fact that Infold does not do that is honestly really mind-blowing to me. Anyway, let's hope that the cycle of experimentation is mechanically just like an Itzaland thing, and that going forward, Infold could maybe lean into their strengths rather than doing whatever they're doing, because I'm not entirely sure if they have a plan or if they know what they're doing or what is the point of all of this, except that maybe once again, as I said, maybe they wanted to get other populations, like other game players, by changing how Infinity Nikki works, but that doesn't get you other players. That kind of loses you the players that you have. So I don't think that they should be doing this. I think that they should be leaning into their strengths. But that's just like my opinion. What do you think? What do you think has been happening? And why were the things going the way that they're going? Thank you for watching. Please leave me a comment down in the comment section down below on the previously mentioned topics, because I'm just one person and otherwise it kind of feels like I'm just talking to myself, and that's very not good when you want to have a discussion. So thank you for watching. I hope that you're gonna see my other videos. Thank you so much for my Patreon supporters. I hope that I'm gonna see you in my other videos as well, like in the comment section, because there's a lovely bunch of regulars that I see all the time, and I really appreciate your comments, guys, and you could be one of them. You could be a person that I like recognize on the regular as well. So I hope that that's the outcome of you seeing this video, and if you are a regular, thank you so much for being here and listening to me ramble, and for supporting me by watching this video. So yeah, hope that I'm gonna see you on my other videos. Toodaloo for now.